Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. All right, let's get it on. All right, so there's going to be a lot of reveal in this one. All right, so let's look at Disclosure Day movie review. I'm going to give you that. We're going to look at the Nazi deep state's control of Earth, how that came about, how we're trying to take that down and overcome that, so we can get into the golden age. It will never happen unless we take down this Nazi control of Earth, which they are definitely controlling Earth right now. All right, Eisenhower, the white hats. We're going to talk about that, how there are white hats, right? Yes, there are white hats. Cloning and the dumbs. We're probably going to talk a little bit about Tartaria as well. So let's look at the recent Disclosure Day movie. We'll look at this a little bit. And I'll talk about my ideas of that movie, having seen that movie yesterday and what I think about it and what I think it's all about. Right. So I think that we need to be aware that, there are groups out there that are trying to feed us information. And again, if you have the deep state Nazis, yes, the Nazis won World War II and are still in control. Then you start to see that they control everything. They control all of the media, and then you look at all of the corporations. They control that, and we'll talk about how that came about, how they came in 1952, July 20th of 1952, and 36 ships. Those round craft. They came in over the capital, beamed down with hundreds of stormtroopers, and basically told the Congress, the president, who had already contacted Truman at the time, and there was lots of, because we were talking about corporate type stuff, the top corporations were there, and that's one of the reasons why they want to come in. So they've controlled the world since then, pretty much. So let's look at Disclosure Day. Now, Disclosure Day, there's Steven Spielberg, and we're going to talk about Steven Spielberg. He's done a lot of these movies, lots and lots of these movies. Similarly, he's done Close Encounters of the Third Kind 49 years ago, almost 50 years ago. And we'll just walk through all the different movies he's gone through that he's done, and a little kind of a background on all of those. But this movie right here is, in my opinion, it's not a disclosure so much as it is showing you how they control us. Right. So now we know that the tall grays, not all of them, just like not all humans, because there's Nazis and there's people like me and you who are not Nazis. We are basically good humans, and then there's bad humans. There's bad tall grays. There's good tall grays. There's little grays, which are basically kind of clone-ish robot type beings that are made for the tall grays as slaves. And then you have the Draco reptilian. We've talked about all these, and they're starting to be disclosed. This information is coming out. It's starting to slip past the control system of the Nazi, deep state, control the media. And that includes the movies and so forth. Now, this is, in my opinion, one of those deep state controlled movies. Steven Spielberg is, he's the director that's controlled by them. Whether he's cloned now or not remains to be seen. But regardless, and we're going to talk about cloning, of course, and we're going to see more and more of this come out, because the white hats that started under Eisenhower when he came into office, helped by the people from Venus, right? So there's 60 different groups that control not only our planetary system and our solar system and the galaxy that we live in. 60 different races. Not all of them are good. All right. The Venusians are basically good. You have Val Thor that try to work with Truman and then work with Eisenhower. and that's where the white hats started, right? So that's going to be something we're going to talk a little bit more in detail. But let's look at this movie a little bit, because it's basically showing that there is a parallel group that is controlling everything, and that's the Nazis from 1952, where they came in and started controlling everything, right? The corporations, they all had to sign a treaty with the Nazis, otherwise they would have been exterminated. So what are you going to do? You're going to sign this agreement and you're going to work with us, or we're going to kill you. So all of the Senate, the Congress, and the corporate heads of the time, and the president, all signed an agreement with the Nazis. All right, so that's where we are right now. There's 444 that are watching us right now. So that's kind of a little indicator that, yes, that's right. All right, thank you, Angelic Realm. So let's look at this movie. His girlfriend, some information that he's gotten, and he's going to disclose it. And it goes into, how he was taken as a little boy, and this other actress that's in there too is taken as a little girl. You're going to see all these, and a tall gray. It's a tall gray that is involved here. So remember what I said about the tall grays, right? Not so good for the most part. Now here's a crop circle that was formed real quick. As you guys can see here, those are made by the good ETs and some by the bad ETs, right? It's not all good stuff. There's not all good ETs. There's not all bad ETs. There's not all good humans. There's not all bad humans. So we're seeing, how each plays against each other. And most of humanity has been, thinking that everything's all hunky-dory over the last, I'd say, 6 years. We've all had a rude awakening. That's part of the process that we're going through right now of disclosure. So forth in this movie, and that's language of the tall grays. So some people are saying they don't want to go see it because they're trying to be influenced. No, you go see this movie because you understand what these people are trying to do, right? Deep state. And you see that there is, like I'm saying, a parallel group that is controlling everything. And that's the Nazis. So we think that, we're good guys. So a lot of you guys think that, the military is going to in control. We've heard that military is going to come and save us. These are all things that are disinformation for a lot of times. Right now, will this actually be the case? I think it's a possibility because I and other people have been the good guys, and there are, all the super soldiers aren't good. Some of them are work for the deep state, often, most of them. But just like we've seen just recently with the movie Citizen that comes out and starts to hit people, right? Take people out. That's going to be something. And I'm trying to jump around because I don't want YouTube to take a lot of this down. I put something in the title that's probably they're not gonna like, the Nazi deep state. So I gotta work around some of the stuff, but we're gonna see, I think, activation of people. Now we can't. Now somebody said that I'm acting like some of these people that said, go to January 6th, and then everybody got compromised there. That's not me at all. But there are people that latch on to a negative. I don't think military is the only way. The military, Milo, is completely compromised. They're controlled by the Nazis, right? So there have been teams over time that have been taking out the baddies within the military. Of course, at one point, the Nazis said to all the military leaders in the United States, if you work with Eisenhower and the good ETs, we will kill you and your family. So from that point on, things started getting quite compromised. Now, it was very hard for military leaders to be good. Of course, there were some, but you have to work very silently. You have to work, you have to take people out, kind of like what I do in my shows. I call people out and I take them out to a great extent. It's a silent kill. I'm not I'm not out there like overly, verbalizing, I guess, on some people. I just go, well, look at this guy. Look at Sean Ryan. Look at, blah, blah, blah. You make the decision whether this guy is good or bad. It's up to you. He's talking shit about Trump. And that's part of the deep state. That's the CIA deep state operative right there. Now, probably they have something on him. I don't know. Is Sean really a good guy? I don't know. From what I'm looking at and from my background, my experience and what I've seen, and I've said for a long time, there are compromised people in the military. Hello. Sean Ryan seems to be one of them. All right. So some of them are sent out amongst us to convince us that they are good and they're working for us. Not so much, right? So you're going to have to be very discreet and very systematic in taking down the deep state guys, because, like I said, they control pretty much everything. So when you come in, you have to almost be like that citizen vigilante, right? And that's where military people have been inserted that are vigilantes were for a long time. And now we have worked to the point, working with the good ETs and so forth, to have built a white hat group that's strong enough to basically stand up to a great extent against these evildoers, right? And that's where we are. So Disclosure Day gives you some insight, I believe. So go see the movie. I highly recommend you see the movie. I highly recommend you see that citizen guy that takes people out, right? So, vigilantes have been, I've been talking about vigilantes for a long time, haven't I? So it's starting to come more and more to the forefront. That doesn't mean for everybody to pick up a gun and start taking out people that you think are bad. Now, if someone absolutely proves they're bad and the deep state allows them to continue quietly, maybe, right? So that's what a vigilante does. Quietly takes out the baddies, right? If they're obviously, I did that. I've done that a lot, right? Now, not on the level of like taking someone's life, but taking someone out, like I'm doing with Sean Ryan, right? He's basically killed himself, right? I'm not doing it. I'm just pointing out something that he's already done. You go against Trump, look at everyone that's gone against Trump. They're all gone. They destroyed themselves, right? So it is a continuing theme. We're going to see more and more of these people are going to expose themselves and are going to get taken out. All right. So Steven Spielberg, Disclosure Day crosses 195 million at the global box office, which is not one of his best showings. Now, it started out really powerful the first week. In the second and third week now, it has gone down pretty significantly. I don't know why people aren't going to see it. Like I said, it's not disclosure like we would think of disclosure. It's disclosure. You have to go in with a larger observant mind to see they're disclosing about themselves, right? Deep state is disclosing about themselves. So you have to go in with that. It's not like they're disclosing to us about aliens. We already know that. Hello. What? All right. You're not showing us anything we don't already know. But for some people, they're not waking up. I've seen comments where people are like, I follow you, but once you go to the green men, you're like effed up. I'm like, wakey. That's the comments I put. So it is, and you don't have to be awakened to the ETs to be a good person and to be someone that can help us take down the deep state. You can be 80, 95, 99%, on board. I'm with you. You could be a little bit off. You don't understand about the ETs. That's okay. You don't know about past lives. That's okay. There's a lot of things that people, for me, it's like it's like a child. You're not going to. Child is like, you teach a child some things they get, some things they understand, some things they don't. All right. So there's a lot of people out there that are very childish about this ET type stuff. So disclosure could be something that helps them, but will it help them in the direction that we know it should, or will it be something that makes them even more, I don't know, uninformed? It could. So, but either way, Disclosure Day, I think, is something that everyone should see. And who knows, maybe once it comes out on TV, whatever, it's available, people are going to see it a lot more. That's a lot of times that's what happens, because people don't go see movies as much as they used to, right? Because of COVID. And people have just gone into, watching a lot of this stuff at home. So just because it hasn't had a big box office doesn't mean that it won't get a lot of views eventually. I would recommend seeing it on the big screen, because I saw it on the big screen yesterday early, and maybe 30 people in the theater. So there's a lot of room. You can go online and pick your seats. So I got perfect seating, right in the middle, and great view. So I like being in, you have the relaxing chair, and I also like the ones where you can order food, but they didn't have it at this one, but so it's okay. You get a little popcorn. We got some gourmet popcorn and, some ices. We splurged. Don't usually eat that stuff or drink, sugary drinks, but it's fun to do it occasionally. All right. So other movies that are out there, the Citizen Vigilante. All right. So that's some things that I think, you should see those two movies. All right. Both of those movies, because that's basically where we're at as far as like disclosure and taking down the deep state. So the deep state, like I said, is very much in control, guys, to a great extent across the board. And is that going to change, rapidly? It can. It can change very rapidly, but what is it going to take for that to happen? It takes people waking up and getting on board with this. All right. The more people that wake up, the more people that get involved, the faster this goes. Otherwise, it's like 6 years later, we're like, God, when are people going to wake up? It's like, it's crazy. The COVID bioweapon that came in, and then you had the COVID lie shot that came in, and has compromised and killed a lot of people. And it's still going a long way to doing that. So, they're high tech. They have bioweapons, and they're probably going to release more. And they're probably going to have some earthquakes kick off at some point, sometime. It's not going to come when, those of us that are very skilled at seeing things come in the future, we can see them coming, but a lot of times they control when it happens. So I can warn and say when it's going to come, but and sometimes in the past I've been like, a day or two out when these events happen. But like I said, it's very, very hard now to, accurately, predict exactly dates and times. I used to do date and time. It's going to have attack on this day at this area at this time, and then there's going to be another one over here, and a week later there's going to be another one here, and I just was crushing it. But after 2012, it got a little tighter. Timelines started getting not so accurate, because we are waking up and we're changing the timelines. So we're, having an effect on the timelines. We're having an effect on the deep state's ability to control us through our consciousness. So that is coming. It doesn't have, and I think that that's the biggest thing that's happening. And that's why they're so ruthless in controlling our consciousness, because they know that if enough of us wake up, which has really already happened, then we start to collapse their control system. So this is the war that we're in. This is the way these things work. Now, this has been going on for a long time, this control system. You look back at cartoons. I remember watching cartoons when I was a little boy like this one. How many of you guys remember this one?
Meet George Jetson. His boy Elroy. Daughter Judy.
Look at that floating city. I wonder where that exists in the universe. Quite a few places.
Jane, his wife.
So that's like a lot of drones right now. So the drones can break down quite a bit, and you can see, how all of this information was starting to come in all the way back then. Now, when did the Jetsons come out? How long has it been? It came out in 62, 63. So it was only 2 years, 62 and 63, that it was actually out. So they fed us a little bit, right? And we're all like, well, that's the way it's going to be. And we're all talking. Yeah, we're like, oh, this is going to be great. We're going to be flying around. And so we still don't have that. All right. So that's a long time ago. That's what, 64 years ago. And it's still not here. Nothing close to it. We don't have moving sidewalks, but we got escalators, unless you're in New York during the summer. And the mayor says, we're going to cut off the escalators. We want you to stop using your AC. I saw somewhere it was like hundreds or thousands of ACs, those little AC units you have in apartments and so forth. Thousands of those was the equivalent of one of those electric buses that Mamdani says he's going to make free for everybody. So all these people are having to do without. It's a total communist system. It's typical to communism. People are going to get tired of it, and they're probably going to rise up, or maybe we'll help them. I don't know. So I don't like to help stupid people. I would rather them, experience their stupidity so they don't do it anymore. But I don't know. We might have to help them out. So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen with this communism bullshit. It's not supposed to be happening in the United States. Of course, they opened the borders and they flooded us with a lot of these illegal immigrants. A lot of them are from radical Middle Eastern countries, and a lot of those radical, Middle Eastern warriors came in with all that. That's obvious, right? I think that some of them have been taken down over a little period of time here, but now think about all the fraud that is happening, that is being exposed right now with the Democrat Party, and a lot of California just more recently. Where do you think all that money's going? Where do you think all that money's going? It's going to fund this army that's supposed to take us down, guys. All right. So it's not buying Ferraris and Lamborghinis for these people that are in Somalis that are robbing us. That's just part of their payout. And of course the politicians get a little piece of their payout, but where's the rest of the billions and hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars going that they've been frauding us? Some of it goes overseas, yes, to terrorist groups, but a lot of it has stayed here in the United States to get weapons and ammunition and so forth. There's been illegal immigrants have been caught, transporting weapons and ammunition in vans. So this is happening. They're funding. They're using that funding they've stolen from us to fund our takedown. So this is more of the stuff of the deep state, the Nazis. Those of us that are waking up and we're not wanting to play along. We're not being controllable. Those of us that didn't get the shots and all that kind of stuff, they know who we are, right? So we're going to be targeted if this thing really kicks off. So it's pretty interesting how it's going. Now, Star Trek is another one that happened during this time frame, right? So This one came in, when did it come in? I think it came in around 66, 69. So again, only 3 years. It only played 3 years. Of course, they had a lot of Star Trek movies, over time. But you remember Captain Kirk? He had that little talkie thing, and he flipped it open, and he said, "Beam me aboard, Scotty." And he gets beamed aboard, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's so high tech. Ah, that's so high tech." Well, that was basically a flip phone. And when did we see that? We saw that in 96. So January 3rd, 1996. So when was Star Trek? In 66, right? 66 is 1966, 666, really. So it was back, quite a while ago. And 30 years later, they come out with the first Motorola flip phone. Guess what it was called? StarTAC, right? So, I've seen these inventions way before most people. GPS. I worked on we were sending up satellites, military satellites, and in the SEAL teams, I was part of, testing the first ones, and they would come overhead. I guess they wanted to do it in the middle of the night. So we're like up at 0 dark 30, it's like, well, who gets up at 0 dark 30? SEALs. Let's go have them go do that. It's like, So we're up at 0 dark 30, riding around in a truck, and they have it was huge at that time, a big old console, and we could see the satellites overhead. It's like, okay, there's one, there's two, there's three. Okay, we could see them. We could visually see them. You take the binoculars and see them and everything. But once we had three of them, then we would have accurate GPS, and it was so cool because we would drive and it would tell us where we were. All right. So 30 years later, you guys got that. All right. So President Clinton, one of the good things that he did, of course, deep state boy, he gave it to. He's like, I'm going to deliver. The military's been using this, and I'm going to give it to the civilian population. So we get these things, piecemeal. We haven't got the Jetsons flying vehicles yet, and those floating cities and floating schools and whatever. But we do have a lot of the things like the flip phone. And now we have even better. And we have, voice. Remember how Uhura? Remember Uhura? She was beautiful. And he'd ask the computer, blah, blah, blah. And so she'd say, computer, tell us, blah, blah, blah. And then the computer would come back and it's like, no, and give out information. So we have that now. All right. We have that now. So your smartphone, we've been doing that for a good while now. I'll tell my smartphone, directions, stuff that would have been, many years ago would have been like, you don't do that. All right. But now we can just say, give me directions to a restaurant, blah, 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 restaurant, and blah, blah, blah. And would you like the directions to that? Yes, directions, please. And then it gives you directions, and you press on it and you go there. All right. So now if you have a Elon Musk car, then I guess it'll do it. It'll drive there for you. Now in my Range Rover, I have to keep my hands on the wheel. It's like, what good is that? But I hear on the Tesla cars, it drives, and I've heard that for quite some time. I don't have a Tesla. Now I just heard recently that if you have a Tesla and you sell the Tesla, then it's $10,000 less right away, because when you buy the Tesla, it's all configured to you. And when you sell the Tesla, all that configuration goes away, and whoever buys the Tesla has to pay that $10,000 to get it configured for them. Wow. And the battery only lasts a certain period of time, and then you have to replace it. And it's like, that's half the price of a Tesla, and $50,000 battery, whatever the crap it is. But, and in New York, where they're telling you to, the AC, you're cutting off your AC, the power is being cut off, and City Hall, it's at 71, 73 degrees and all the lights are on, but they're telling you communists are telling you that you need to turn your light. Well, they're turning your lights off, right? And you're supposedly turning down your AC. Of course, they went out in the streets and said, "Are you turning down your AC?" Everybody's like, "F that." It's like, "Rrr." And so, those people that didn't turn theirs down, that's probably why the power went out. So thanks a lot, guys. So they were going to turn it off anyway, just to show you who's in control, right? So and if anybody complains, they're like, "Well, there must have been some people," and then the people that didn't, are like, "Oh, I feel bad." No, see, that's part of their control system, to make you feel bad that you aren't completely controlled by them. So yeah, this is part of the deep state. This is part of the Nazi system that we exist in. They like communism. They like it a lot, right? So that's what's being implemented around the world, right? It's done really well in Europe, and now it's coming to America in a big city near you, right? So I don't know how much longer it's going to last. It's going to have to be some kind of arrangement where that's going to get. I don't know. It's illegal to be a communist, right? So it used to be. I think it still is. Maybe they just have to enforce the laws and we get rid of these people. I don't know. So, but once you get them in there, it usually takes a gun to get them out, right? So just be aware of that. All right. So how many of you have the flip phones? Maybe some of you still have a flip phone. StarTAC. That's pretty cool, right? Now let's look at Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's another Spielberg movie, almost 50 years ago. All right. And they had all these, it was like, ooh, and everybody, it was like millions and millions of people saw that. It was this one guy, his life got turned upside down. He had all these strange stuff started happening, kind of like happens in the Disclosure Days. Strange things start happening because these UFO ETs have, capabilities that we all have, but we've been dumbed down to them. So it starts to activate him, and eventually they get the big starship comes in, and what was it in that one Devil's Tower in Wyoming? I've been there. That's an old tree. That's an old tree that was cut down. There's old trees like that all around the world. So and that was one of the things they did to destroy this planet at one time. Those bastardos, those bad ETs. So we're in the process of overcoming them. But what they do when we get a little out of control, they flood us, they earthquake us, they bioweapon us. They've been doing this for a long time to us, right? So we really have to wake up very quickly. So Spielberg, obviously, a little puppet boy of theirs, releasing all this stuff, and we're like, oh, E.T., the extraterrestrial, and the cute little girl, she's in the E.T. phone home, and it's got the glowing finger. See, like my finger glows. See that? My finger glows too. So that's all like nice and all that sweet stuff, right? Now, he's been doing this stuff for a little bit. Close Encounters of the Third Kind we're talking about. He did Raiders of the Lost Ark, where we had, some spiritual stuff in that with the actual Ark. Raiders of the Lost Ark of the Covenant, right? E.T., like we just talked about, the extraterrestrial. Poltergeist. Now, Poltergeist was where the little girl looked into TV and she goes, "They're here," the ghost. And they did another movie with her, the little girl, and she ended up dying. And they said it was from some kind of problem with her stomach, her something, because still those elites, they like little girls, all right. So she died mysteriously, and then other mysterious deaths within the first movie. Two actors, an actor and an actress died within one, I think, before the movie was released, one after the movie was released within a year, and then the Poltergeist 2, They had more people die. Of course, the little girl died. And for Poltergeist 3, the little girl, I think she made it into some of it, and then she died. And then they had a lookalike came in and fulfilled the last part of it. She's still alive. I looked, so I'd heard that she had a twin sister. I didn't see that anywhere. At one time, I looked at that and it was true, and now I look at it like some kind of, they changed everything, the Mandela effect type thing, and now she doesn't have a twin sister. I'm like, I could have sworn she had a twin sister. Any of you guys out there remember that? So, and she died too. But now we have somebody else to play the role, and I'm like, I remember distinctly looking that up. I don't know. So, any of you guys remember that? Remember that? Anybody? Anybody else have the Mandela effect on them? So, it's of course he goes on the Twilight Zone, Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, and Empire of the Sun, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And Jurassic Park, of course, Schindler's List. Of course, he has to get the Nazis, thing in there, Schindler's List, make them look good. So Saving Private Ryan, and War of the Worlds. Now, War of the Worlds, that's another thing that's kind of interesting, because we have this one guy, Tom Cruise, that's in a lot of his movies, and Tom Cruise is with that one. I'm not going to say their name, so it might be a problem for me, but he's with that one cult, right? That cult, the mind control cult, and that it seems to be a problem in a lot of Spielberg's movies. Problem as far as like the E.T. influence, because the guy that did that one group that Tom Cruise is with, he was really into the E.T. stuff, right? So I think there's some problems there, right? But if you like Tom Cruise, I like Tom Cruise, but it doesn't mean that I like all of his stuff. As we're going to see, some of the stuff is all kinds of BS is interwoven in a lot of the stuff. So now, of course, Steven Spielberg is doing Disclosure Day, and like I said, he is a deep state boy, and with the name Spielberg, that sounds very German to me. I don't know, maybe not, but my wife took a picture of him not far from here in Lake Tahoe, and she has a way of taking pictures of people and their real side comes out sometimes. Yes, somebody has put it in the chat, the name of the people, Ronnie. Yes, Ronnie, part of that group. Eyes Wide Shut. Yep, all that stuff. So you guys are onto it. Anybody get the Mandela effect thing that I was talking about? I don't. Maybe it's just me. All right. I don't know. Maybe somebody responded to it and I didn't see it because you guys are chatty. Chatty. I like chatty. That's good. Keep it going. Keep it going. Sometimes if you guys do questions in caps, I'll catch them occasionally. So if you want to throw a question in there, doesn't mean I'm going to catch them all. Tom's a clone. Yes, we're going to get to that. All right. So very possibly. So that science group. Yes, the science group. You guys are good. All right. So let's look at some more of this stuff. Now, I've been talking about clones for a while. Now, there are technologies, and they show some of these technologies in the Disclosure Day. Of course, these technologies and these back engineered craft and so forth can be used for good. Of course, they can also be used for not good. Right? And this is one of the things that we've experienced, unfortunately, since the Nazis came in 1952 and took over, because they're advancing. Now, the white hat secret space program side is advancing and keep it up and even passing I believe, the deep state side. But the deep state still controls everything, right? And that's one of the reasons why, like I talk about, the flip phone, did come out for like 30 years later, and GPS didn't come out for 30 years later, because that's the way, that they run the world. That's the way they run the world. They give us a little piece of technology when there's so much more out there. Now, this is Guy Anderson and Sean. He had him on. Sean Atwood had him on. This is a fantastic show. I highly recommend it. Talks about clones, Tartaria, and Freemasons. Guy was he's a London boy, and of course Sean is as well. I don't know if Sean lives in London, but he's Brit. So these two Brits get together and have a nice conversation. And Guy, at one point, because his father was into it and his family, whatever, became a Freemason, but he only made it to 3rd degree, and he got kicked out because he was closing stuff. Right? So, of course, you're never kicked out of Freemason. Just like, they say, once CIA, always CIA. No. All right. I was never a bad part of the CIA. So probably the guys that are bad side of it, they're always bad side of it. I don't know. Now they try and still keep track of everybody that works in the CIA because they feel like they own you. Of course, they feel like they own all of us, right? And it's, to a certain extent, they do actually, guys. So Guy Anderson is talking about the clones and so forth. Let's look at a little bit of this. I mean, we've seen this. We've talked about this. Let me jog your memories.
Oh my God, I don't even know what I'm playing here. Should I put the audio on? Yes, go for it. All right, here we go. Ready, folks? Is it on the screen properly? Yeah, it is. Here we go.
All right, so these are clones that malfunction. All right, so here's Hillary doing her clone malfunction.
You guys have got to try the cold chocolate.
And that's real, is it?
Yeah.
So let's go back. Let's see.
Yeah.
What's going on? Share screen. Hillary Clinton cold chai latte. Oh my God, I don't even know what I'm playing here. Should I put the audio on? Yes, go for it. All right, here we go. Ready, folks? Is it on the screen properly? Yeah, it is. Here we go. All right.
You guys have got to try the cold chocolate.
And that's real, is it?
Yeah.
So let's go back. Let's see.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Be able to walk what is about 100 feet.
Oh God. Oh my goodness. This is so weird.
All right, so this one's Lady Gaga. All right, she is in slow-mo. Is it her clone or is it Lady Gaga or Mr. Gaga, whatever that thing is, on drugs? You be the judge.
You got some proper gems here, guy. I mean, these.
Yeah. I spend my life looking at this stuff.
That's great. Lady Gaga walking frozen like a robot. There we go. There we go. Oh my God. Let's get this one on, shall we? And all right, play. Beep.
Dada, you have one pizza, Dada, please. Dada, I said you have one pizza, please.
All right, and she is an actress, so maybe she's acting too. So who knows? But she's moving super slow speed.
Get a bit closer. You look at Anne. It's on his foot. She's not going to do anything for you.
All right, so Mr. Gaga is moving pretty slow there. So that's part of clone malfunctioning. We're going to go deeper into this. Now, there's other clones that are out there malfunctioning. Let's look at this next one.
Right. All right, let's go with Katy Perry's glitch. Let's get that on the screen. Here we go. There she is.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Now look how she presses to reactivate that eye, right? So she knows, I guess she's been taught, if the eye does not work, this is press and replay, right?
Make even more noise for my band.
The look on her face, it's like she's trying to fix it by tapping her head.
Yeah. Yeah. Reset. Yeah,
This
trying
right
to
here,
reset.
y'all gotta take a look at this. Y'all see that? Y'all see?
Conference. You'd probably think that it was a comedy show if you didn't know who he was. If you just arrived here or been in a coma for 20 years and you saw him on TV, you would think, well, this is some sort of spoof satire show.
Absolutely. And they just rub it in our faces, don't they? There's another one.
They do. Always in plain sight. Yeah.
Here we go.
So he's walking like a robot. All right.
I'm not at the moment. Have you decided when you're able to share thoughts with other countries? Is it allies or neighbors first? Who will be the first country to get U.S. vaccines? I've been talking with several countries already. Well, I'll let you know that very shortly.
All right. Didn't see much of a. Says around 7 seconds. Biden's arms enter the matrix. All right, let's try that again. See what it says. Does it 7 seconds?
Travel to the southern border, sir.
Can't see it.
No,
All right.
I can't see much
Yeah,
there.
they're missing it. Basically, the microphone. Let's see if I can get it back there. I'll try and freeze it on it. Now watch the microphone in his hand.
Travel to the southern border, sir.
Can't see it.
So it glitched in there. So there's a lot of the glitching that happens with these guys, and of course, they bring him in. I don't know if it's CGI. This thing walked in like a robot and answered some questions. We've seen a lot of glitching from Biden. That's old. So we know that there was some kind of cloning that was done with him. Probably an actor that was playing his role as well. A lot of it. So Biden, I think, was executed. Now, if he was executed, that means the White Hats have much more control than they have had for a very long time. And I think that control is gaining momentum. So when they say the military is the only way, the military deep state is being taken out, and the white hat military is starting to come in. So I think this is what we're seeing. The white hat, and they're not going to publish it, because if you watch that movie Disclosure Day, they have a way of knowing everything, every thought, every movement. Of course, they're putting up cameras all over the place. These AI, data centers they're putting up. We're hearing that those are being made to handle all the data that's going to come from those thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of smart cameras are going to be placed everywhere. So these smart cities eventually will be completely controlled. You will only have a car that they give you. You will only live in a place that they give you. And if you get out of line, then everything probably will get shut down. You'll be locked in your home, kind of like a prison. You won't be able to go out because they control the doors if they want to. They can turn off your electricity like they're doing in New York already. And if you're trying to escape in your electric vehicle, they'll shut it down and make you drive back. So all these things are, that's really, where things are moving. Now, a lot of this stuff is pie in the sky because they don't really have the wherewithal and the technology to do it. Because the deep state ETs are only so advanced. The good guys are good. They're creative. There's a lot of us that are very creative. They steal from us. They take from us quite a bit. Now, there's another guy that they were talking about in the show that I was just showing you guys, where it's Donald Marshall, and he basically woke up at 30 years old. There's a lot of us that start to wake up at 30 years old. So they wipe our memories, and at 30 years old, it's like a trigger where you start to remember. All right, so Donald Marshall started to remember at 30. Kathy O'Brien, she was due to be executed at 30 years old. They're sex slaves that they have. They basically take them out at 30 years old because they start to wake up. And so she was due to be executed. She's talked about it on my show, on many other shows. And then, of course, she was rescued. So, how many of them aren't rescued? Most of them. Most of them are executed. Now, there's lots of clones out there that are, back and forth. They have a new place which is called Clone Aid. I'm going to show you guys this little piece, and I'll pull up Clone Aid. So Clone Aid, basically, from what they were talking about in the show, Ron Anderson with Sean Atwood, he was talking about how Clone Aid, and you can look that up on your own. Clone Aid basically has a program where they do pets, they do humans. If you want to clone yourself and transfer your spirit into your soul into your new clone, you can do that. And I guess they've been doing it for years. So I'll pull that up, but watch this one for a little bit. And he is awakened to these clone deep underground military bases where the elite have been doing this all the way back to 1945. So these technologies that the Draco reptilian and the tall grays basically gave to the Nazis is starting to come in. They started coming in back in 1945. So cloning goes all the way back to 1945. They have, Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, Mark 4. They're upgrading their capabilities with this over time. So Donald Martian, he has his own website. He's got a Facebook account and so forth. You can look that up. But he talks about all this, and you can get deeper insights. Let's play a little bit right now.
To stay.
Oh, let me share the screen. All right. So great interview. This one right here, I'm going to show you guys. This was all the way back in 2013. And then there's another one that is going to go back and forth into this at 2016. Now, this is Donald Marshall official, right? So this would be an interesting guy to have on. We'll see if we can get him on. But Donald Martian, human cloning explained, types of clones, consciousness transfer, history, and more. So really, really good interview here.
And they say if you ever talk about it, you're going to die. And this is how I know everything, okay? When I was 5, they brought me there to be used as what they call a diddle kid, okay? But all I'd do was cry and stuff. So they said, do you have any other kind of use? Do you sing or dance or something? So anyway, when I was 5, to keep them off me, I started singing like original songs there, just right out of the blue. Turns out the first one, people liked it, and they had a famous person use it.
Lady, I'm your knight in shining armor. and I love you. You have made me what I am.
And then they came back for more, and I made more.
So he's written a lot of songs. So they basically steal from a guy like Donald Marshall. And they've been doing it for quite some time. And, there's a lot of people out there with a lot of talent. We've had the Matrix real author on. He's talked about how they've stolen and made movies out of his ideas, dozens of movies out of his ideas, and they just steal it. They just steal it, right? So they've done the same thing to Donald Marshall. Now, he goes into detail. I'm going to give you a little bit of insight what he talks about. He talks about how when you go to sleep, not all of us, but he says when, certain people like, I guess, himself and others, when they go to sleep, there's a rapid eye movement part where once you go into that state, they pull your consciousness into your clone double. And then your clone double in these arenas, they fight like gladiators and get killed. And it's okay because they have multiple clones of these people. And if they wake up at any time, their clone on the other side just like falls right away. Right. So the clones get all banged up over there because sometimes they wake up. But he says in your dream state, you experience some of this stuff. And then you get your consciousness wiped, so you don't remember it. Some people do. All right. So some of you out there probably are experiencing some of this and you're going, oh, shit, that's what that is. All right. So it is not, I guess they have these dumbs all over the place. Right. And they have people go in and do this. And they have an arena where the elite come, if you can call them that, and they can come in and watch these things and get involved. If he talks about how one time he didn't have any music because they were like stealing his music and he didn't have anything. He hadn't thought of anything. So they just stab him. So people that in the audience, they've never stabbed anybody. He's all drugged out, so he can't fight. So they come and stab him. So it's all kinds of sick stuff these people do.
People came back wanting to hear more. It was just a kid that was making these songs, right, for free because they never paid me. Nobody knew, right? Totally foolproof. So anyway, lots of people, famous, high-profile people went there. I'm kind of apprehensive to say people that know me know who I'm talking about, but they're the highest profile people go to these cloning centers, and they wanted to see this kid that was making these songs.
I just had a good imagination and creativity for making songs, I guess, these melodies for songs. And then it got really out of hand. They just wanted me to keep on making songs. And at first they were impressed, but after making about 20 songs that could be used, then I just pretty much became like a machine for them to use. And it just progressed and kept on going. And then it's actually, by now, it's an absurd amount of songs now. They were using me for about 34 years now to come up with songs. Yeah, that was the main thing, making songs. And then they wanted me to come up with concepts for movies. They wanted me to sometimes give them advice and just anything. After the songs, they wanted to test me out, see if I was good with other things and everything, even interior home design, as absurd as that sounds. But just anything. And the main thing was songs. But the thing was, after I couldn't come up with songs anymore, I was having more difficulty just thinking them up out of the blue, out of thin air.
And they were bringing me back every single night and saying, sing a song or we're going to torture you. Next night, sing a song, we're going to torture you. Sometimes I couldn't think of anything, and they would just like stab me and watch me bleed there. And they're all watching like it's a bizarre Faces of Death thing. And different people want to know what it's like to stab someone, so they send them out to stab me while I'm on drugs so I won't hit them or something. It's like that. It's very sick. But yeah, they're all like, we're so powerful. We're going to get caught doing this. No one's ever going to believe anyone. But that's because everyone else only had half of the story. After years of playing friends with them, they told me.
So again, how do they get away with it? Because they control the world. These Nazis, deep staters, They control everything. All right. So yeah, we hear this stuff, and of course they come out with counter accusations and disinformation and so forth. But cloning is absolutely real. And like I said, the Clonade stuff, I talked about this before, and I just pulled it up after we get done with him talking for a little bit. I'm gonna bring the Clonade site up so you guys can see. This has been going on for quite some time.
Because they want to be really cool with me. They wanted me to like them because I made their favorite song, like the Top Gun theme song. Made that. Right?
All right, so the Tom Cruise thing again, and that Ron Hubbard, science thing, ontology, place where they have done a lot of MK Ultra stuff, and they work closely with the certain CIA types. So this is part of movie industry. Most people that do the cloning are in the music, or not the music, but in Hollywood. So Hollywood actors are the ones that use them the most, right? So, but that's not the only ones. Of course, we've seen Biden. He had clones. There's lots of clones out there in the political side as well.
When I'm there, and they're all the politicians want to be cool with me because the celebrities think that I'm amazing and stuff, and they think I'm amazing too, right? Coming up with a song out of thin air like that. I put a bunch of references in songs. Other people have in the past too, like back in the 80s, this band called Heart made this song called Dreams. These dreams go on when I close my eyes.
Like he's talking about, he's living another life. These dreams go on when I close my eyes. So, I guess he's written, stuff for the Beatles, and like they've stolen all kinds of stuff from him. It's fascinating to hear some of this stuff. And you're like, well, he's just one guy. He's making it up. There's been a lot of people that have been coming out and talking about how they're cloned. And they just come right out and say, yeah, how do you do all this stuff? Well, because I'm cloned. And then there's more recent examples, and there's so many. So let me pull up Ariana Grande, and she basically said she has her memories wiped, right? So is this a clone, or is she the real thing and they wipe her memories? So let's listen to this one.
About music. You told me you're not going on tour anytime soon. Eternal Sunshine, you've said the deluxe edition is in the can. What's the next step? What do we got?
The next step is the next step. It means it must come out. It's been...
Do you have a release date?
You know what? They did the Brighter Days memory erasure treatment to me, so I'm having trouble remembering the details. They're foggy because at the Brighter Days clinic, they do the memory erasure,
What?
The memory erasure. They erase my memories. It's a little foggy, but...
If you could remember, struggle.
You know what? I'll have to go back to the clinic and see if they can restore my memory.
Is it going to be soon? Because the fans want to know, Ariana.
So soon. So, Mark, you have to learn the language of my fans, because soon means 10 days or less. I'm not allowed to use that word at this moment.
So it's not less than 10 days.
I'm not going to use that word today. I'll say that. I love you. You're so...
All righty. So let me go see if they can put that memory back in my mind, right? I feel that way sometimes too. But I don't know. Maybe mine's natural, but maybe not. So, Clonade. All right. So there is a company. I've talked about clones for a while now, so this is kind of fun to revisit it and tie it into the deep state side of things. The Clonade, as you guys can see here, clonade.com, CLONAID. So you can go and do the history, the first human cloning company in the world. Yeah, right. It's been going on for a lot longer. Again, if they're giving us something, it's been around at least 30 years or more, right? That's my experience, and that's our experience with the flip phone and the GPS, right? So founded in February 1997 by Rael and a group of investors who created the Valiant Venture Limited Corporation based in the Bahamas. And that's how they can get away with this, because Bahamas, it's all on. Right. So in the first couple of years, Clonade has already received enormous media coverage. However, due to the pressure mounted on the Bahamas government by French journalists, Valiant Venture Limited was canceled, as government representatives were thinking the laboratories would be established in the Bahamas island. Wow, wonder where they went. Wonder where they went. All right. So from what I'm hearing is the elite, they have their cloning places that are on the surface somewhere, right? And those of us that aren't part of the elite, if we want to have the cloning services, they do those underground, right? Or if they're going to clone us and we're not aware of it, I guess they do that underground as well, right? So the tall grays and the reptilians, they're still here, but they're only here in a no touch environment type thing, other than they made an agreement with the governments. Our government signed over human beings, us, to them to do experiments on and all that kind of stuff. So we kind of saw that in Disclosure Day, but they made it seem like it was okay because they got these abilities. And then once they were awakened and tapped into them, they have much better lives. But the ending kind of left you hanging. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it leaves you hanging. It's like, are you guys going to have another movie? All right, Steven Spielberg, are you going to have another movie? Disclosure 2, Disclosure Day 2, right? So he has done a couple, I think, repeats, of course. Indiana Jones, Temples of Doom, and all that kind of stuff. But it sounds like this one's set up for another one. But if they don't make a lot of money, if a lot of you guys don't watch it, they're probably not going to do it. So they got to make a lot of money on this, because I think they spent $110 million on making this. Geez, what'd you like? Have to bring in real aliens to do this movie and real alien technology? What the heck happened? So it's like $110 million movie, and they've only made about $200 million so far. So that's our it's like $155 million or something. So they've not made a lot of money on this so far. So we'll see. We'll see if they make another one. But these things take a long time for them. It seems like they just string us along. They're like, well, let's monitor them and see how they accepted it, and see what level of manipulation we took them to, if it worked. And if it did work, let's do another one real quick. Right. So that's the way it usually works. All right. So they have these cloning facilities already everywhere. It's not something new. When Biden first came out and people were saying he's like a clone, and everybody's like, clone? What the hell is that? And it's like, really? So we've been on a disclosure for the cloning for quite some time. It seems like a lot more people are open to it and understand the possibility of cloning. Although it doesn't seem like this is quite a hit on my show today, but it is holiday weekend, so maybe that's why. But anyway, I guess that show yesterday got a lot of views. He had it live on X. I think I've done 1 or 2 live X's. Maybe I could start doing that, but he had like 110,000 watching live on X, that show. So it was definitely accepted. And here, where I'm heavily suppressed, maybe not so much, but still, you beautiful people that are watching this, I'm sure you accept it, and you understand it, and you're like, yep, we've watched that, and yep, we understand that, we believe that. So, but if you haven't seen it yet, I would say go see Disclosure Day. And if you haven't seen it yet, you can rent it on Amazon. Citizen Vigilante, right, will be another one you want to see. All right. And now I'm probably going to have to go up and change my title because they say Nazi deep state. They don't like that. They don't like that in YouTube because that's too close to the truth. All right. So lots of love to you guys. I hope you guys had a fabulous 4th of July. It's still the weekend. We watched that movie, came up, ate a nice meal, and relaxed on the couch, watched something else, and went up to bed early. I could hear the fireworks going off. We didn't watch them, so I've seen them a lot. I've made a lot of fireworks in my day, so for real fireworks. All right, guys, lots of love, stay in the love vibration, and I'll see you guys next time.